It's a mess. The new FAA flight restrictions are a huge concern in Washington, where lawmakers are set to vote again today in an attempt to reopen the government.
Doug Zader, live from Washington. He's been following this very closely. Doug, good morning.
Good morning. I guess the only bright spot for travelers is that airlines, a lot of them, are being pretty flexible about ticketing and so on. Not a whole lot of flexibility here on Capitol Hill, at least not that we know of. But there is another vote that we think will happen today to try once again to reopen the government. The skies will be a little less crowded today as passengers brace for the new reality.
The last thing you want is too many airplanes in the air and not enough people controlling them.
Well, that's how the FAA sees it, as they order airlines to scale back operations starting today at 40 major airports across the country. Too many planes, too few controllers, they say.
Safety is primary, and so this is not politics for us.
The transportation secretary said this isn't political, but it has clear political ramifications for the shutdown debate. President Trump said last night he won't accede to Democratic demands for more health care spending.
Look, the shutdown is caused by the Democrats, and we're not going to spend $1 trillion or $1.5 trillion on health care for people that came into our country illegally.
I came away more confused than when I went in.
And not much clarity from lawmakers on Capitol Hill, but we do expect a vote today on another measure to reopen the government. It may include some concessions from Republicans, including a guaranteed vote on Obamacare price supports, but not the guaranteed outcome that many Democrats are pressing for. And while some moderates from both parties have been working behind the scenes to craft a compromise, many on the left are pressing Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to hold the line.
He's got to keep doing it, and we've got to deliver a win.
I think that there is no reason to surrender now, every reason to stand firm.
Okay, so standing firm, but there is, some deal-making happening in the shadows. It just isn't clear that that's going to be enough to get this across the finish line. We may see a vote much later in the day today. That's the expectation. It's possible the Senate could work through the weekend, but no agreement in sight yet. Bob and Jen.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that latest offer from the GOP? So they're offering a guaranteed vote on what they are asking for, which is Obamacare subsidies. And then there's a couple of more things that they're offering. The key is to try to get a couple of moderate Democrats to move over to get enough votes to get it across the finish line. Are there any indications that this is meaningful or fruitful?
There are a number of moderate Democrats that are desperately searching for an off-ramp to end this. So Republicans are trying to do what they can to offer as little as possible to still get those folks to come across. That's why there's talk about setting up another vote after the government reopens, setting up a vote on an effort to renew those Obamacare subsidies. What Democrats want is something date-specific. I mean, they want as many specifics as possible before they agree to anything. And look, there are some of the hard left that are going to keep holding out on this.
I also saw something this morning that when it comes to those flight delays and what's happening with the TSA, only 20% of Americans fly once a year, and then 40%, or it's the other way around, 40% fly once a year, 20% fly multiple times a year. So the thought is, if Democrats aren't persuaded by, for example, the loss of SNAP benefits, where you have 1 in 8 Americans losing those benefits, then they wouldn't really be persuaded by the flight delays either.
Yeah, Jen, that's a good point. I'll go back to something that Bob said, though, talking about family members. It's not just the person on the flight that's impacted.
Right.
It's everyone around them. So there is kind of that multiplier effect as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's see if there are any changes this Friday, which almost seems doubtful, but we'll see. Doug Zader live for us in Washington. We appreciate it, Doug. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.